formative years of my artistic development were when I was living in Brooklyn and spent 5 years busking the LNG every single day. And that exceeded my time in classical conservatories, studying with like a fiddle player, or interacting, or even through like country and bluegrass. Because when you learn your craft through a system, it's filtered through the lens of perception of that system. And when you are street performing and out directly with an audience, that lens is clear. And that's where you learn your craft and how to directly interact with art and an audience. And years later, I hear that there's a place that wants to give a floor to artists with no distortion on the lens. No, the ability to self-govern, the ability to develop craft, the ability to bring people in to make art with no barriers. And that's what has happened for the last year. And the results speak for themselves. We've had amazing people come through, build massive products, and I just want to talk about them. That's really the entire point of this. We had an opening with Lexi Benak, who opened the space, brought in hundreds of people. We developed helped develop a underground robot fight where we had the fine craft of Sharia Esters, the installations of Amelia Atreides, the fine eye of Sophia Morel. These are all people that came from an unfiltered, clean lens art space that were able to develop their craft in public and create several international sensations in the last 365 days. And that's, that all leads into the fact that Gage was working security at the front desk, and I had a 5-minute conversation with him in which he told me that he was a skilled classical painter working security at Frontier Tower, and he showed me his work, and I said that I needed someone to co-lead the floor that has a focus on physical art. And that is the entire platform that has been provided to artists over this last year. A clean lens with no gatekeeping and no barriers to entry, in which people are able to develop their craft, have direct relationships with audience, and it is...
Thank you, Scott. Up next we have Elliot from the Biobank ecosystem and the Biotech floor.
Hey everybody. I'm going to start low and then end really high. So I think the problem that everybody in this room will eventually experience is that you'll get sick at one point and die. And at the same time, who here felt the heat wave this past week? This past 2 weeks or so? Oh yeah, it was pretty bad, right? Especially without AC in the city, it's pretty difficult to kind of see the environment changing the way that it is. And so I think one of the main ways that we can kind of gain access to these sort of huge existential problems that we face on a day-to-day basis of death and a warming planet is really biology. Looking internally, looking at our DNA, looking at the people around us. And so part of the genesis of the Biopunk community, and Morgan, my collaborator over there, there you go, the two of us really wanted to lower the barrier to entry and kind of create this third space for gaining access to all these tools and equipment for experimenting in biology. And we did that by creating a space that's really 10 times cheaper than anywhere else in the city to gain access to equipment, materials, other things like that. And over the course of a year, we've kind of grown to almost 100 members or so. And we've had some success in a few companies launching out of the space, raising a cumulative total of about $15 million, and have dozens more. Companies that are actively building their own livelihoods. And I think like one of the key things that I really want to impress upon you is that biology in particular is local, and it's really personal too. And part of the thing that is important is that when we see the world start developing towards more of these AI systems and kind of expanding into more computation, when we get in person, that's really when it matters more and more. And in particular, what we're orienting around is kind of this new economic development systems for business. Working on these kind of like live-work residency programs and new modalities of accelerators. And so Ben Franklin said once upon a time that the only thing that in life, the only sure things in life are death and taxes. And since billionaires have already really avoided taxes, really I think the next thing to focus on is trying to figure out sickness and health and trying to avoid death.
Immortality!
So next year, what we're really aiming to do is kind of systematize and expand a lot of our efforts, enable even more of people who are building in bio, start kind of more collaborations with other floors. I'm really, really looking forward to those. And then launching an all-female biotech founder house on June 1st. We've kind of had that explosion of creativity and talent and other things like that, mostly because of the collaborative ability of the people in this building. And I am here today and who I am today, partially because of the people around me. And so really give it up for the other floor leads for enabling all of this to happen, because it would not have happened without them. That's kind of it for me.
Thank you, Elliot. We go from the biological world to the technological world with the robotics floor. Ksenia, the floor is yours.
Hi, everyone. So, you know, AI is changing the world, right? We all experience that on our daily lives. But then, how did that actually start now changing the physical world that we inhabit? That's the question that I had for a very long time, and coming off of a consumer technology background, and really being fascinated how tech is touching our lives in the physical world. You know, I had a question of an intention actually to have a robotics community that would start to change and actually start to carry over the advancements in AI into the robotics world. But what is that we're missing from getting there? And why currently, like why now is the time to actually build things in robotics? With you know, AI advancements in reinforcement learning, we now start to see robots able to, you know, dance and fight and all the crazy moves. And that became possible just, you know, exactly a couple years ago. Now if we want to take it to the next phase, what do we need? We need more people to build in robotics. We need more people to be able to take the learnings from, you know, the AI revolution and start applying it to the physical world. And that has a very serious limit of not able to have access to equipment, right? If you want to build in robotics, you need to be able to, you know, work with robots and apply the models that you have into the physical devices, that then test them and improve them and make them better. And robotics has been the field that's been around for decades. Robotics has been in manufacturing floors, in special facilities, right? It was heavy, dangerous equipment. But ultimately, the whole industry is building towards robots becoming the part of our daily lives, helping us out in the service jobs, in homes, and really taking the load of the chores that we don't want to do. And so, with the new wave of AI and that kind of entering the very, really difficult physical world, we want to now help more people get into robotics. It's an inherently difficult space, and it requires first access to the hardware. It requires having access to people, researchers and engineers that build in the space, that are able to share with you the latest results of the work, the latest research, the latest tools that they use to build things. And also, as with any great things in the world, a lot of the innovation happens on the edge of different verticals. So having the ability to interface with, people from, bio and AI and arts and music and other fields, we're able to come up with new innovative applications of technology that will propel the whole industry forward. So with that intention, we've took on the floor lead of robotics here and have been able to collect an incredible community that brought in over 50 robots on one floor. We actually now have the biggest robotics collection in the city of different types of robots, from humanoids down to robotic arms. And we have the 4 companies on the floor that are building across the physical AI and robotics, creating the application for robots that are currently have commercial value. So we're really proud of our ability to get people the right tools, the right network, and the people to build within the physical space and come up with great use cases. And on the cross-pollination topic, what we really found this place to be really amazing at is the ability to have reach to people from different domains. And what Scott has already mentioned, we've collaborated and created the robot entertainment company, UFB. So with an intention to actually advance robotics through culture, that's another big domain of technological adoption, is the ability to tell the story of how these technologies enter in the lives, what is there to change, and why people need to care. And that's been an amazing journey, and we're looking forward to welcoming more people in our community, and definitely super grateful to the whole Frontier Tower community for gathering such an amazing group of people under one roof and really empowering each other to build things. So that's it, thank you.
Thank you, Ksenia. And last but definitely not least, before I go up, is the AI floor. Yeah, you're next. Yeah.
Give us a second. This thing work. I like being a pain in Zeno's ass, so I said I'll use a website instead. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. Let's try to control plus this a little bit. It's okay. I'll talk a lot. You'll follow it all through. My name is Devinder. The thing that I care about doing is reducing anxiety around tech. As you will see in my speech pattern, I come off as an anxious person, and part of that is just because I want to know everything, and I feel like I don't know enough. And I think this is a common pattern in tech, not just for me. And a lot of the inspiration behind coming up with communities or work or just constantly learning or being in R&D is a function of the fact that I want to keep up with everything all the time and I never feel like I'm keeping up. And it turns out that was a great business plan because other people feel this way too. And so I built a life behind like reducing tech anxiety and trying to follow like where the next trend is and trying to figure out how to make people feel good about technology, how to get different groups to actually communicate with each other and use it together. Because AI for AI's sake is great for me, but boring for the vast majority of people. But if you can get their interest and if you can get them involved, you can actually learn stuff from them too. And you're kind of expanding on that. So, very quickly, my name is Devinder. I work with Lexi over here. She's our arts director. Ray is not here, but he does the Immersive Commons Lab for us, and I'll tell you about that. And Tom helps us manage the floor. These 4 people, well, these 3 people other than me make the place run. Next slide, please. Some numbers quickly, because I came to the place to collect data about community. How does physical community work? Can I teach some people here? How does all this sort of like come into play? So I had to learn a lot about that. To date, what we've achieved, and I came on June 19th, Clovis, who's here, yes, was the lead prior to me. He's sort of sunsetted because he's working on even more exciting things, but he started it all. And I came here to try to make whatever I could of this space. So far, we're at 185 members, which is crazy. We've managed to... this represents, by the way, over the course of time, because there is churn, more than 145 companies that have been here. Another crazy number for one floor. 100 plus events have been run in conjunction with Just Our Floor, and that's thanks to all of these groups like Vibe Coding Nights and the AR, XR people, and Lexi, and like the arts people who come together with us. Obviously, City Science have run like a few as well. And then, I was wrong, sorry, not 145, 200 plus startups have worked here. Next. People who showed up, I think more than 3,000 VCs and LPs, builders from all over the place. We've built amazing projects. Funding the Commons people are here. They managed to pull together a 1,000 people project in like 6 weeks. And that happened because Human Flourishing and Arts and all the other floors got together and worked with them, and their team just spent the hours to make something like this happen. These things aren't easy. These things typically take 6 months. We get them done in 6 weeks. That's kind of like the beauty of this place. Of course, we have builders, we have businesses from all around the world. We have the Korean consulate, the French consulate, the Japanese delegates, and the Austrian delegates coming through, and we have more countries from all over the place, cities from all over the world trying to come here and try to figure out what it is that we do. While we're still figuring it out, it's just fun to show off. And it's just fun to show this experiment that's happening. I really like this idea that we are starting with a simple idea of building community and now building a layer of labs. This is why the underlying company for AI Floor is called Learning Layer Labs. We have the Common Ground Lab, which Lexi started to tell you about. We have the AGI Research Lab, which offers now a motion capture system with 7mm accuracy that's less expensive to use, open to the public to learn about, and more accessible than anything else that exists in San Francisco. We have partners like Cultivate Labs, who we're writing the OEWD, I believe it is, grant to be able to teach people about tech who don't have access. We have the Human Generosity Project from Arizona State University and Athena, and we're figuring out whether communities like this even work. We're working with City Science, obviously. They're doing their own thing. We just give them space. They figured it out. And then New Shanghai, we're trying to bring a bunch of the best builders here, all the way down to Shanghai, to see if we can fund that project, see if we can show up in China. In China, I can't speak. See what we can do with that. I think we'll show up in a big way. If we can make this happen, we'll start putting us not just on the map here in San Francisco, but all over the world. And it's an exciting opportunity. Just a sample of like some of the companies across AI infrastructure, Creative XR, Climate and Impact, Web3 and Compute. 200 plus companies is crazy. And if you think about the fact that I really started working this place heavily in September, all the way through April, we're at about 7 months. In 7 months, we've managed to pull off this. And I feel like we're slow. I feel like we're not doing enough things. I'm giving Zeno shit about like, why hasn't this been done yet? And I think that's insane, but it's amazing progress. So these are the numbers. This is sort of like the things that I know about. Are you up next? Okay, and so what I'd really like to do is give the perspective of someone who's not me, not thinking about this super analytically, and provides a very different flavor that I think is necessary, especially in a place like Frontier Tower where you have the benefit of expanding your bubble beyond just like your core understandings. And that person is Alexia, or Lexi Benek.
Thanks, Evander. Okay, so I'm going to tell a bit of my story. I came to SF in August. I'm from Slovakia originally, and I came to Frontier Tower in August. And I was just trying to be an artist. I didn't know what was up. I was scared of tech. And then I show up here, and it all started with this painting, which we called Believe in the Me That Believes in You. Yeah, next slide. That Devinder purchased and kind of invited me with that to the tower. And from there, it's just been like a snowball of creative projects. So we were like, okay, this is a cool painting. What if we made a mural behind it that it plugs into? So we did that. And then we were like, what if we made another one? And so we did that. And now we have a painting that you can plug into multiple points on the floor. And so it's kind of like a chip, where it's like a heart of the floor kind of vibes. And then we were like, okay, this is a nice visual identity that we're developing. What if we made it into a hallway? Okay, next. Yeah, thank you. And so we made this into a community project where we got all these AI founders to like pick up paintbrushes and just like make this together.
And other floors.
And other floors. Thank you, everybody who helped. It was wonderful. And then Devinder was like, what if we did a projection mapping, agentic projection mapping on top of these murals? So now we're doing this thing where we're like creating murals and putting these lightning and clouds interactive agentic projection maps on it. And we were invited to Eve Boulder to do this and to kind of pile up this idea. And this is kind of emblematic of like what I think that we're trying to do here, which is create bridges between different communities that might be scared of each other. So like me being scared of AI, artists in general, and then AI being kind of like, I don't know how to do art, I don't know that. So just creating these bridges and lowering the barrier of access and lowering tech anxiety in general so that we can use AI as a medium and use it as a tool to bring these ideas that we have to life and make them better.
Great.
Yeah, thank you. So this is kind of this is just my story, right? We have so much other stuff going on. As Devinder was mentioning, race projects, we have vibe coding nights, we have a bunch of labs, we have the motion capture lab, and all the other labs that we're building. And it's all just with this ethos of bringing people together, making sure that things are accessible, and that we can all learn together. And so that's the present of what we're doing. For the future, as you mentioned, we're applying for this Office of, what is it, OEWD?
Yeah.
Grant?
It's already submitted.
It's already submitted, yay! Which the goal of that is basically to create a multiple month program where we bring technological and creative tech professional development opportunities to people who otherwise wouldn't be able to afford them in the city. So that's kind of what we're working on next, again with the ethos of making sure that this is accessible for everyone, this AI revolution. And that's a future that I personally can wholeheartedly get behind. And we're going to be talking about this at Arizona State, we're going to be talking about this in Shanghai, and I'm really excited to talk more about this here at the tower in San Francisco. And thank you. Devinder said that I could have 3 slides, so I made 4 slides, and these are Devinder's slides. Thank you.
I want to quickly mention a couple of shout-outs. These guys in the art store taught me about what an algo rave is, and then they pulled it off. The folks in biotech and neurotech helped me figure out a bunch of things in their discipline, and we're hopefully going to be working together on a project very soon. The folks in human flourishing are my escape place, where I get to talk to Ming and get advice, and also with Judy. And then robotics, I was able to introduce Drew, and they have a wonderful partnership. And in Ethereum, we were able to work with Thomas, who's become like a neat lead there, and he's bringing a whole new ethos. And these stories just keep going, and obviously I've forgotten like 5 of you. But the idea is, it's a thing that works because there's so many of us intermingling. And I think if it were just AI floor, it wouldn't be as interesting. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, so my turn as the last little announcement and just recap of what we did last year. I'm going to be quick because I'm keeping you from cake. We have cake and drinks in the corner for celebrating it. So I'm going to be as quick as I can be. Okay, so I am Xenophon Kaldoulis. I am the CEO of Frontier Tower. I'm not the founder of the place, but I came, they bought it on a Tuesday, I was involved with them on a Wednesday, immediately afterwards. And I've been here active as much as I possibly can throughout that time. What is Frontier Tower? It's, the way that we call it is a vertical village, but also it is the first of an inner city network society node. We expect to be doing a lot more on that soon. But we are not an accelerator, we are not a coffee shop. We are not a co-working space, we're not a restaurant, we are not a third space, we're not a library, we're not a co-living space. We are a bit of everything and all at once. We are a vertical village for the tech, and for builders, and for arts, and for music, and for people that want to see a better future for themselves and for everybody else around them.
As cities are looking like right now, buildings are empty shells filled with desks, leases and silos. Instead of connecting people, they're separating us. See, the way we occupy space hasn't evolved in a century. It's still separate where we live, work and create, and that separation has fragmented our communities, stifled our collaborations and drained the energy of everyday life. But the world is shifting and people are longing for change, for community building, and thinking. And that's why we see a massive boom in these temporary communities and pop-up cities. It's time to make it plain. The culture, technology, and sovereignty for a modern place. A vertical village, 16 was in the heart of San Francisco, filled with people advancing AI, biotech, robotics, decentralized technologies, and let's not forget, arts. Here we have robotic climbers doing UFC of robots, neuroscientists doing on brain health, philosophers, musicians, makers, all co-creating for a new kind of city. The Frontier Tower is the first node of the Intercity Network Society, a blueprint for how the next city will be built. So come, join the frontier, you're invited.
So as the video said, and as many people here have said so far, we are 16 floors, out of these are 12 thematic floors. We have 5 event spaces, 3 labs and growing, 1 gym coming soon, and over 760 citizens. All that in 1 year. We have communities on AI, human flourishing, hard tech and robotics, Ethereum, biotech and neurotech, arts and music and culture, longevity, a makerspace to build anything you wish, fitness and wellness, which is going to be coming soon, as well as, of course, venture and investments. And I think we're growing and adding more communities as we go. Some of these communities you haven't heard so much about, but we'll see in tours moving forward. Over the last few months, we've done a couple of pretty interesting things that you may have recognized. We did the peptides rave that got into the Sunday Business New York Times section. These are some of the examples. You can see it was pretty fun. I missed it, unfortunately. I was not here. You also may have seen the BKSF article about underground robot fights in garages. This happened here, and you can check out some of these fighters on the 4th floor. Some of them are decapitated. They fight hard. We also had the CEO of Burning Man here talking about how culturally we are attached to one another. The fun fact that most people don't know about this is that this building used to be the headquarters of Burning Man, like a few years ago. And of course, we also have the Ethereum Foundation pretty much signal that we are the first physical location for the Ethereum community in the world. Pretty cool stuff. And you can see Vitalik here playing with his favorite dog. And Lawrence, who wants to live forever, and he's going to be waiting for you guys on the 11th floor. Yeah. And we had the Ethereum 10-year party here. We also had Intelligence at the Frontier with Funding the Commons, and we had ETHSF happening at the same week. It was a crazy week last month. Talking about how we can use blockchain and crypto assets to really build new systems that are more efficient and effective. It was really, really fantastic. And of course we have AI. We are, after all, in the city of AI. We had the first CloudCon happen, and we went viral in China, actually. This is all from RedNode, which is their version of Instagram. And this keeps on happening. Every now and then there's an event that has lines all on Market Street, trying to bring people here and build cool stuff. And this is the Luma, and the Luma is important because I'm going to show you some statistics very, very soon. But the tower isn't only for work, it's for impact. And I think that's the most important thing. We want to impact society, we want to impact the world moving forward. It's a blueprint for what we want to do in the future. And in 1 year, this is what we've achieved. We had approximately $120 million in funding raised from companies within the community. We had 750 plus citizens and growing rapidly. We had 180,000 people invited to come to events, and more than 70,000 people have come to the tower over the past year. We also have 1,350 community-led events. Our model is grassroots, is bottoms up. So these were done because of the community's desire. If you go on the Luma, you'll see tens of events every week, and that's not going to stop anytime soon. And of course, hundreds of hackathons, hundreds of courses, hundreds of people that are being upskilled for the future. We have people that are being trained to do lab equipment and lab support at the biofloor. People that are young waitresses, people that perhaps have not even graduated college and are here to try to become lab assistants and experts. We had hundreds of people come and learn how to vibe code and how to build products. We've had hundreds of people come to do events and try to learn the AV, and many, many more coming with more and more arts and culture courses coming very, very soon. Pretty good for 1 year, I'd say. When I was 1 year old, I didn't do any of these things. So I think in 1 year, imagine what we can do in 2. And I think very soon what I'm trying to designate here is that we're going to take it to the next level, which is I want to have 10 towers by the end of next year. So we want to expand more in San Francisco as well as across the world. We want to connect to multiple cities with San Francisco, bring them here to build, coming to provide value and to build value for society. We're here to support San Francisco through this. We want to have millions of citizens working with our products and using our community's efforts moving forward. It's basically building a curated future that works for all of us. And there's no village without co-living, so we also got a second building that some people might not know about, which is the hotel.
How are you feeling about the hotel?
Excited. Yeah, finally happening.
It's weird.
It's kind of weird. Yeah, it's kind of weird to sleep alone in a big hotel.
This building has been here since the 1920s, previously known as the Commodore Hotel, and when we found out it was standing still, empty, the place to myself.
King size bed, the co-living place.
It's awesome.
And no need to be sad anymore when you're leaving the tower, because you're all heading to the same place. And no more eating on floor 11 because there are sensational restaurants just around the corner. You're in very close proximity to the Frontier Tower. You can fly just 10 minutes down the road and you'll be at the door.
So this is only the beginning. And very soon we will have a whole ecosystem built around the tower and hopefully many more towers across the world. We're also very, very soon introducing Frontier OS and the Frontier Dollar, allowing for our ecosystem to build on a trusted platform that's going to create apps used by the entirety of the ecosystem. And we invite all of you to be part of our journey and to share that to your friends and colleagues that might find value within the tower. We are expanding rapidly, both within San Francisco and hopefully globally, but we'll focus a lot more this year in SF and making sure that our community here is as strong as it can be. So thank you very much. I'm more than happy to, this is the way to contact me, but I'm more than happy to answer questions now. I'm also happy to ask you guys some questions. So I'm going to start. Who here wants to live forever? I see a couple of hands. Soon there's going to be more. I see 4 hands now. Who here wants to see robots? Yay! So there we go, we can see robots. Who here wants to eat cake? Yes, a lot of people. The same ones raising hands about longevity. You also want to eat cake. So I'm happy to open up the floor for any questions that anybody might have, and after that I'm more than happy to start the tours and start the cake. Over the next hour, or 2 hours actually, we're going to open up most of the floors so you guys have access to them. We're going to close these doors down in roughly 2 hours at around 3 p.m. So questions, I see one. Come on. Yes, Baran, tell me.
Yes, I have a question. So you're moving this culture to other cities in the world. Are you supposed to translate the uniqueness of the environment that we have here to other towers, other places? Because like at the beginning you said this was the only place you could start something like this, but now you want to translate that.
Absolutely. So I think when you go to other parts of the world, the entrepreneurs and the innovators and the builders and the artists there are like dying for a place like this. They feel like the ethos of San Francisco is missing. Many of these innovators that want to build a future don't get the support they need to actually achieve this in other parts of the world. We are definitely trying to transfer the ethos over. We're also trying to make it work for their culture in every city. So if we were to do something in New York, we would focus a bit more on finance and fashion, because it makes sense. If we were to do the same thing in Austin, we would focus on energy and defense, because it makes sense for the culture and the field and the focus of each of these communities. If we were to do something in China, Shenzhen or Hong Kong, it would be about manufacturing, trying to like prototype projects and mass scale them and grow them, right? So each community that we're trying to tap into is going to be, the tower is going to be tailored to its own desires, but the connection between these towers and San Francisco is going to be immense. And we expect that we're going to bring a lot of people from around the world here in multiple different waves, year over year, to try to build for San Francisco and for their communities. Does that answer your question?
Yes. Is the governance model going to stay the same?
We don't know. The governance model itself right now is quite centralized, but we have a pledge to make it more and more decentralized. So I expect changes. Yeah.
I was curious, I know your expansion model is for major cities. What are your next, say, 2 or 3 cities that the towers actively...
We will definitely focus a lot more in San Francisco, so I expect expansion in SF this year.
Oh, okay.
I think New York makes sense. I think London makes sense. I think China makes sense. I think Abu Dhabi or Dubai makes sense after the war comes down a little bit. And then Central Europe and Latin America and everywhere. Our desire is to be in every major city in the world. Any other questions? It's time for cake? Time for cake. Thank you very much for coming.